Hey everyone, welcome back to Reading with Tatiana. Today I'm reviewing romantic comedy by Curtis Sittenfeld, and I gave his book a 4 out of 5. Before I go into my full book review, I want to do my Booktuber Shoutout. Today it goes out to Lockwood Chronicles. After I finish this book, I want to see what someone else thought about this book. So Lockwood Chronicles, I'll link her channel down below. She does a full in-depth review of her thoughts of this book, and I really enjoyed watching her in-depth review. She also does a bunch of other videos as well on her channel. The year this book was published was this year in 2023, so it's a very recent book, and the genre I would put it in is contemporary romance. A bit about the author Curtis Sittenfeld. So they are an American-born author. They have a collection of short stories and 7 published novels. So Curtis has a very big collection of published work, which is amazing. In 1992, the year before her senior year, she won 17 Magazine's fiction contest, which is pretty awesome at a young age. She went on to study at Stanford in creative writing, and she also got her Master of Fine Arts at Iowa's Writers Workshop. So Curtis has always been a writer through and through, which is great to see, and I'm actually excited to read her other works because I think romantic comedy is actually a contemporary romance I quite enjoy, which is really rare for me, so I really enjoy her writing. So let's get into the story. So we meet Sally, who's in her 30s, which I love when I read contemporary romance, and as a character that's close to my age. She has been a writer on TNO, which is the Night Owl, for 8 to 9 years. And TNO is basically, if you're familiar with Saturday Night Live, a fictional version of that show. And it's almost like exactly the same because it premieres on Saturday night at like 11:35 p.m. And then this book kind of talks about Sally's experience at TNO, which I really enjoyed because I actually grew up watching Saturday Night Live and Mad TV. Shout out to Mad TV. I actually think it was a better show, but I think it was too politically incorrect, so it just couldn't last through the times. But because I did grow up watching SNL, it was really cool to see Curtis's, the author's insight. I don't know if accurate or not, of the behind the scenes and of the days leading up to the Saturday night premiere. So basically Sally is a writer on TNO, but she has aspirations to be a romantic comedy writer. However, she's very comfortable and safe being a writer at TNO, the Night Owl. One day, Noah Brewster is not just the host of TNO for that week, but also the musical guest. So, because this is a romantic comedy, Noah and Sally have a bit of a spark, but Sally is not that very confident of herself, so she's not sure if she's just like playing it up in her head because Noah's like this big pop star, or because there actually is a bit of connection. So they kind of have this like spark throughout the week, but it's not very obvious because they are working together, and he is charismatic. So then ultimately nothing really happens at the end of that week at the after party. They can actually have a bit of like a tiff, and then nothing happens. Fast forward, it is now March 2020 and it's the pandemic, and Sally gets an email from Noah Brewster, and basically he is emailing asking how she's doing. It's during the pandemic, during lockdown, so they have a bit of banter back and forth. And I actually really enjoyed this part of the book because it just brought me back to the pandemic, which now it's kind of crazy to say that was 3.5 years ago at the start of it, and it just kind of brought a bit of nostalgia. Maybe not in the best way, but in moments of hardships, you always had like these good moments. So it's nostalgia in a bad way, obviously, but also in some good ways. So Sally and Noah exchange back and forth, and they eventually decide to meet. So then Sally goes to his home in LA to meet in person, and that's where I'm going to stop the book. But I basically really enjoyed it because I think I really like how it was set at TNO, Saturday Night Live, seeing the behind the scenes. I really enjoyed the email exchanges, and I also really enjoyed it when they met in person. So overall, it was a very enjoyable romantic comedy book for me to read. Common themes I found in the book is the idea of believing that you're worthy to be loved and deserve to be loved. Sally, as I mentioned, is in her 30s, and she got married when she was younger and then got divorced, and she really struggled with finding self-worth. So this book really talks about Sally's personal development to believing that she deserves love. Also because Noah Brewster is a celebrity and pop star, and Sally is a writer on this very popular show, the common theme of the idea of your public self and your private self, and how that happens, or how that changes as you engage with people in the public, and also how you show your vulnerable self to people that's close to you. So I really enjoyed that because it's something I never really thought about, and it's, even though like I'm obviously not a celebrity, it's something that I think about as well. You know, the idea of me with my family, with my close friends, an idea of me with coworkers, an idea of me when I meet people in like a workout class. I also love the common theme as it was set during the pandemic, how people can show up and support each other during trying times. I really enjoyed that aspect of the book. As I gave this book a 4 out of 5, obviously there are some things I didn't like about this book. There's actually only one glaring thing I didn't enjoy about the book, which is Sally herself. I felt she was a bit too flawed. She had all these walls built up, and I guess I just couldn't relate to how she was so tough on herself because she had two best friends at the show that showed up for her, supported her. She had this long career, and I know it's very natural to have a bit of self doubt, but Sally's self doubt was almost like to a fault that was unbelievable. And it was just annoying because she was so faulted, but then Noah was like also not that faulted. So it kind of had this weird like white knight in shining armor dynamic, and I thought it was just kind of weird. And I felt like if I was Noah, a love interest, and I met Sally, and she's just so beat up on herself all the time, it would get exhausting. And I don't know if I would be so patient, which maybe is a bad thing about me. But I don't know. That was like one thing I felt a bit like took me out of reality a bit too much. Things I did enjoy about the book though was I really enjoyed Sally's friendships with her coworkers. As I mentioned, there are two female coworkers that love their little dynamic, but I also love Sally's relationship with her male colleague Danny Horse. I love when a book shows the reality of how two hetero people can be friends of opposite gender sexes, and it's not a big deal. And I just love that because I think that's really grounded in reality. But I think there's always like this stereotype that men and women can't just be friends. There's always like someone that's into to each other. I also like how to get the behind the scenes view of the Night Owl TNO slash SNL, and I also love how it was set during the start of the pandemic. On Goodreads, this book got an average of 3.73 out of 5, which I think is pretty accurate. Bad reviews where people did not believe in the connection between Noah and Sally. People also, and this is actually funny timing, people hated Sally's character. They felt she was very reminiscent of the main character Marianne in Sally Rooney's book, which I did a review recently, and I gave a 2 out of 5 out of that book, Normal People. So it's funny how there's that parallel that people saw because I didn't feel it as much in Sally in this book, but I hated Marianne in Sally Rooney's book, Normal People. People also were not ready to relive the summer pandemic times of 2020, and they felt they needed a heads up because I think if you read the synopsis of the book, it doesn't really mention it there. Good reviews were people who enjoy SNL like me, love the aspect of TNO in this book, and people also felt this is a very enjoyable, easy read. I think you should read this book if you are in the mood for like easy romantic comedy and just to get a sneak peek of behind the scenes of a Saturday Night Live show. Now I'll share how this book made me feel because if someone recommends me a book, I always like to ask them how it made them feel because if you ask me a week, a year, 5 years from now, I probably won't remember exactly what the book was about, but I'll remember how it made me feel. So this book, it made me feel very like believing in love again. It made me feel very like, the Kate Hudson era of 2000s romantic comedy. I felt it checked most of the boxes I want in a movie. I think this could actually be a great movie adaptation. Thank you for watching until the end of my book review for Romantic Comedy by Curtis Sittenfeld. If you read this book, I'd love to hear what you thought down below in the comments below. And as always, if you watched until the end, please hit the subscribe button, give a like, give a comment, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!